Do you want to know how I went from parking my Turo cars in my driveway to this 24-hour CVS parking lot? To finding our own permanent parking space that we can grow in here at an office building with a parking lot that we have available to us. Now, the number one mistake that I made that literally cost us $1,000 a day in fines that I want to save you from with that headache was trying to park these cars in our own personal driveway. The issue was we had neighbors that were complaining and they were talking to the town, and the town showed up and said, if you don't get your cars out of here and stop this business, we're going to fine you $1,000 a day. So the solution, what I think is the absolute best thing that anybody could do, is look for one of the biggest opportunities in real estate today, which is commercial real estate. So offices, warehouses, places like this that have a giant parking lot where only 25% of it's being used. So stick around till the end. I'm going to explain everything, how much I'm paying versus if I just looked for like a regular parking spot. But first I'll tell you, when we were going through it with the town and they were trying to fine us, we were in a panic trying to figure out what we're going to do. So we ended up going to the 24-hour CVS because we saw that they also had a bus station there and they had a 24-hour parking lot. So we thought that would be one of the best areas where we could run our business. Now, it's kind of risky, but since we didn't park the cars overnight there, we never saw that as a problem. Many Turo hosts will use like a Walmart parking lot, a Target parking lot, some business where they just park the cars a couple hours before their trip goes out with a guest, and they'll just leave a lockbox on the window like we did. And we were able to do that for a year until we found this permanent solution. So we never had a problem over there, but we definitely wanted something that was more permanent. And I thought that this would be the best idea. So I was scanning Facebook Marketplace, I was driving around the community, looking at all the for rent signs on office buildings, warehouses, everything I could find. And we even looked at regular parking lots like this, and we couldn't find a price cheaper than about $200 to $250 a month per parking space for an area that has lighting where people could pick up the vehicles. So that just seemed high to me, because I know you could get a small 10 by 10 or 12 by 12 office for a few $100s a month. So I kept looking for commercial real estate, and finally we came across this listing, and we were negotiating with the landlord. Originally, they thought we wanted designated parking spaces, and the big tip for negotiating when you're working with your Turo fleet is don't go for designated spaces. You're not meeting your guests anyway. You're not going to put a sign in the ground that says, this is my Turo fleet parking spot number 1. We just told them, look, we'll take any space as far away from the building as possible. We don't want to interfere with people that are actually going inside the building. So we're taking spots all the way over here, and our cars are not even going to be here that often. And the way that we were able to get it, because they were still saying, well, you know, the parking, and then you got to pay something for it. I'm interrupting this video now with an important tip. Do not, and I repeat, do not pay per parking space when you're trying to find parking for your Turo fleet. Instead, take advantage of a big opportunity, which is commercial real estate, where you could have access to an entire parking lot included in the rent for your office. But how come all the other businesses in here get to use the parking and they don't have to pay for it? So thankfully, the guy said, good point, and we were able to work it out. We're only paying $500 a month for use of the parking lot, and we have an office that I barely use except for filming some content. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the office. I may end up renting it out as like a production space, because we do have like some paper backdrops in there. You could do photos, maybe some small live streams or podcasts. But that is how we scaled from my driveway to CVS to taking advantage of what I think is the best opportunity for parking in Turo. I don't care who else is out there saying you got to look for just a parking space at a small shop, or you got to go over here or over there. Commercial real estate, $500. I have a parking lot. My business can scale. We only had 1 car the first year. By the time that year was up, we had 5 cars when we were at CVS, because we were scaling slowly out of fear that people would find out. Here, in the last year, we got 10 more cars. And now in the next year, we're planning on doubling the fleet again. So stay tuned for more. Thank you very much.